pop.
Hello.
Living my truth with a ring pop. Amelia, as you can see by the fact there are only two boxes, is not here today.
But I am. I'm back. I wasn't here last week.
You weren't, because someone was traveling across the seas, through
Yes,
the
I was.
stars.
Actually, this time last week, I was definitely here. I was here back in America, but I was jet
But
lagged
yeah,
AF.
you're like astral projecting a couple hours
Yeah,
behind. You're just unlagging.
absolutely, for
You're
sure.
buffering. But we're here now, and this week, damn, I forgot how dope ring pops were. But this week we're talking about Suicide Squad, one of the best sequels.
I don't think it technically was a sequel, was it?
It is a sequel because it continues from the first movie.
All right. I just like I didn't know if it was considered one because James Gunn is like, this is my own movie.
It is your own movie, but it's still like it still has.
Hmm.
They had to kill off characters from the first one.
Yeah.
So listen, all I'm saying is that it's like Shrek 2. It's just, mwah.
I wouldn't say it's Shrek 2 level, but it is really good. I feel like Shrek 2 is just like the perfect sequel. So I don't know if it's that
It's I don't
that
think
perfect, but it is
the
pretty good.
Shrek is a perfect sequel. Suicide Squad 2, the Suicide Squad, the ba ba da ba da.
Wait, is Suicide Squad the first one, then this one is the Suicide Squad?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If you look at us on Twitch, you'll see the poster, and "the" is the biggest word. It's like the size of
Oh.
Suicide Squad together. It's the
Oh, the.
the. It's asserting its dominance.
All right, I see that.
Yeah, I'm really proud of them for that.
This is the Suicide
The
Squad.
Suicide Squad.
Okay.
All right, it was like we
Got
did
it.
this. I will say my there are a few critiques I do have of this movie,
Hmm.
and I'll say this. This is the first one. I find it really funny how they just were like, we do need a gun-toting black man to lead this movie, so let's get a different gun-toting black man.
Like Will
And
Smith is not available. Who else? Who else?
and part of me is like fair, but part of me is also like, y'all. Idris Elba slaps in this movie, but also, y'all.
I
I'm
did
watching.
love his character.
I was like, you go from Deadshot to Bloodsport. Come on, guys.
I actually really liked that. I was like, wait, this guy's rad. I mean, like they're essentially the same person, but
That
still, I
yeah,
still liked him. I thought he was
loved it,
rad.
loved it. I wanted to just say what needed to be said.
I really enjoyed that like half of the advertised cast was like often within like the first 15 minutes.
Love that for them.
That was a vibe because I remember seeing like back in the day on Tumblr, people were just like, "Oh, I wish they did like a movie that like advertised this whole like thing in the trailers and the posters, and then we got a completely different movie out of
Mm-hmm.
the actual movie." And that's what we kind of got with this. So I was really
Yeah,
vibing with that.
yeah. I enjoyed how much Pete Davidson was hyping up this movie, only to have 5 minutes.
That's fine. That was fine.
That was one of those times, because I it was one of those times where I'm like, we all know people have a little bit of a vibe. They're like, oh my god, there's a tall, skinny white boy that looks like he hasn't slept in 5 years. I will simp for him, no matter who else is here in this cast. And
The
they
only thing
literally
I thought
said, go fuck yourself. We're simping for at least Idris Elba.
the only thing I thought was so funny about Pete Davidson's character was he just like straight up genuinely asked like, "Hey, is this a dog?" And I had the same look as like I don't remember who said like, "What do you mean is that a dog?" Like, is this a dog? Like, bitch, is it a dog? It has the
Listen,
same vibe as that like TikTok's like, and this guy said, "You think it's a bird?" It's the same vibe. I loved it.
I will say, Weasel. Listen, okay, I said this in the TikTok. I'm
Mm.
gonna say it again. Weasel is one of my favorite jokes in the entire movie. The ending, we're skipping all the way to the ending,
Yeah.
where he wakes up somehow out of
Yeah.
his little coma and then runs into the woods in a South American country where we know he eats children. I'm like, he's El Chupacabra now.
I was about to
Literally,
say, like, isn't that gonna be
literally,
mistaken for Chupacabra?
that's what I was saying. I was like, El Chupacabra is now canon in the
Yeah,
DCEU,
essentially.
and I was like, that is iconic. That is the best joke. I'm like,
Like,
this kid. Also, the fact that it was like, did no one check that the weasel could swim?
what I think is really funny is I love DC. DC is like my favorite of the comic book things. If it's Marvel or DC, I'll probably pick DC.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know about the character of the Weasel, but when I started looking him up, I didn't realize he's supposed to be a dude that is just like now a weasel. Like, I thought he was like an alien weasel creature, but no, that's just some guy.
Listen,
He's just some guy.
the favorite thing about like characters like the weasel is that I love when comics kind of just go like lean into the absurdity and being like, yeah, they
Yeah.
succeeded, but sometimes they're wrong because you know, we have people like, oh, I was bitten by a radioactive spider.
Yeah.
I like ba ba da 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 this that and the third, and this guy's like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna get the power of weasels. No, you're just a weasel now.
He's just a weasel.
You're just a weasel.
Like a very large
Very-
child eating weasel for whatever reason.
right? And you're just like, yeah, guys, it's not always gonna work out. I'm sorry. Superpowers are here, but sometimes you get shitty ones. You know,
Yeah.
it's like when you watch My Hero and you're like, yeah, moonfish, same concept. Where you're like, that's just unfortunate.
It is unfortunate.
that's just that's just not great.
I kind of want to talk about like DC versus Marvel a little bit in this
Ooh, discourse.
TikTok, not TikTok, this video, not video,
This Twitch
stream.
stream.
What am I doing?
Oh my god.
This stream.
Back in the United States for 1 week and you're already just like all over the board.
Like, yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But Marvel seems to have like this strength in that they really do lead into their heroes. Like that's what they do.
Yeah.
I don't think we haven't gotten anything from Marvel that's like even approaches anti-heroes except for like Deadpool, but that's I feel like I can't really count Deadpool because he hasn't made an actual Marvel movie. He's been a Sony project up until like what, like 3 weeks ago when he was finally inducted into the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing they've even like touched on.
Yeah.
Whereas DC has like touched on the idea of villains and anti-heroes and superheroes. They just aren't very good at like handling their superheroes because of the fact that they're already so well known. They feel like they have to keep reinventing them.
I also feel like
yeah.
I think I don't know if it's common, but I think I am in a camp that is fairly popular in saying that DC has better villains and Marvel has better heroes.
Yeah.
And I think them leading into that is really what's going off because also some of their heroes
they have both the best and the worst villains at the same time, and I feel like that's a skill.
That truly. And like the thing about like a lot of DC heroes is like they are interesting, but they are so easily written poorly. So easily. And Superman I think is the biggest proponent of that, where Superman is actually a very interesting character, and it's about like how writing like a lawful good character on a planet that technically kind of would treat him like shit. You know what I mean? Like it's like could you imagine being Superman in an office and hearing motherfuckers talk about ice, and you're just like, what? It's like, yeah, we can't have illegal aliens, and Superman's like, what? It's like, yeah, you know, like they're not from here. We like, and you're just like, I have to save these bitches. I have to save these people after. I feel like, you know what? The thing about Superman is that people write him as a white man, where at best you need to write him as a white passing person, because that's what he is. Except he's human passing. Like that's what it is.
Like
and they can't conceptualize that.
I do agree with that, but the fact of the matter is, like, it wouldn't be the same if he was like black, because he would not be treated the way he is in comics if he was black.
Right.
Like it would be a completely different experience. And they explore that in different versions of Superman.
Yeah.
But
But like,
Like,
it's not
not
even like
Clark Kent.
changing
Clark
his
Kent.
character, but like that's
Yeah.
like still a core tenement that people kind of just
Yes.
like give up, and you're like, I'm not saying the character has to change. I'm just saying the
Mhm.
writers that they pick need to like have the at least the ability to see that, and they don't, and it's
He
fine.
was created by two Jewish men.
Exactly,
So.
and you're just like, guys, keep up with the times, or
Mhm.
you just like, come on, come on. Every comic book you've ever seen got some
Sorry,
history
all of
in
my
it.
necklaces are tangled. I don't know what
Listen,
happened.
it's so distracting to me.
Sorry.
But I will say, yes, they have some of the greatest villains. I love that we're in this Harley Quinn
Mhm.
renaissance.
You
I
mean Harley Quinn?
yes, like this Harley Quinn like renaissance of just like it's all about her. Birds of Prey walked.
Why do you keep saying Harlequin?
Harley Quinn.
You say Harlequin.
Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn.
Do not make fun of my accent.
Is that the Baltimore in you?
Maybe I'm saying Harley Quinn. Like I don't know what to tell you. Am I
Like
saying it too
you're
fast?
saying like Harlequin, like
Harley
the isn't
Quinn.
it Harley Quinn?
Listen, I am so sorry that the way I speak
The Baltimore.
makes you
The
uncomfortable.
Maryland.
Listen, y'all.
I think in your TikTok you even tagged it Harlequin.
Listen, I think yeah, maybe. I just picked the one that had the most views on it because I assumed it was the right one. So I was like, whatever.
Like Harley, like the bike, and
Oh,
Quinn,
Harley.
like Quinn.
Yeah, Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is the first time you said it, like actually Harley Quinn.
I've always said Harley Quinn. Listen, oh my gosh, I cannot stand this slander on the way that I speak.
No, it's just it. I don't know how to explain it, but it feels like the Tupperware thing. Like you're throwing peas in there. You're dropping
Listen,
the Y.
I
Harley.
you can't expect someone who pronounces mountain button to get words that
Mountain and button.
mountain. I don't.
Mountain.
Yeah,
Hmm.
mountain. I don't pronounce the centers of words.
Oh, that makes sense then. Okay.
That's what I'm
You're,
saying. It's just the
you're dropping
accent.
a whole ass vowel in the middle.
Yeah, it's Harley Quinn. Listen,
Lee, Harley.
Harley Quinn. I can't. Listen,
You can't do it.
there's
It's
so many
fine.
words.
Moving on. What about the Harlequin Renaissance?
I feel hate crimes. I listen. Yes, I feel like we're in a renaissance of this character in
The
which
clown lady?
I'm gonna punch you in the face the first time I see you. I swear to God, you are in the same time zone too. It will. Listen, Hyla Hemp. I know her full name is Harleen Quinzel. I can say Harley, I can say Quinn, but if you tell me to say her full name, it's gonna come out Harlequin.
For whatever reason.
It's just the way it is.
Okay, I just saw now that it's you tagged us Harley and Nanaue Supremacy.
Yeah.
What about my guy Polka Dot Man?
Also, great. First of all, back to the yes, but back to this. I just want to say we do need to give due to Birds of Prey. Birds of
Yeah.
Prey literally just shattered the wall so
Yeah.
Suicide Squad could glide forward.
Mm-hmm.
With that said, I also love that we're now like we have the Harley Quinn TV show.
Mm-hmm.
There, you happy now?
Yes.
I had to really think about it. And then we have Doom Patrol, which you love the shit out of. Like we just are getting these like fun saucy.
I will single-handedly promote that show. I don't care.
Listen, that's fine. At DC, just hire Momo. Just came back to the United States, ready to promo, ready to do what you need to do. And like yeah, and all these characters are so good. I think there isn't a single character that like anytime on they were on screen that I wasn't like compelled or I wasn't invested.
Well, except for what Liberty Boy? What was his name again?
Peacemaker.
Yeah. Where did I get Liberty Boy?
Because his hat is a Liberty Bell.
Is that what it is?
Is it not?
I don't think so.
It just reminds me of the Liberty Bell. fun fact, there is a typo on the Liberty Bell itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, they misspelled Pennsylvania, which I
I
feel
was
like,
about yeah.
which I feel like is fair. You know, of all the states, you're like that. You just Pennsylvania's doing too much.
Fair enough.
I will
Um,
say their community, the Amish community, their food does fucking slap. But other than that, they're doing too much.
the Peacemaker. I don't know where I got Liberty Boy
Liberty
from.
boy.
Okay, I am upset about the fact that people are shocked that John Cena can act. Like he was fully in the Psych movie. He was fully in that movie.
John Cena has so many fucking bangers.
He's acted in a bunch of things
John
too.
Cena
This
was
isn't
acting
new.
before The Rock was acting. John Cena created the way for The Rock. They were
He's
like they
been acting.
those two together
Is
were
disrespectful, actually.
yeah. I was like, listen, John Cena doesn't he like My Little Pony tweets or something? Like John Cena,
He does My Hero Academia.
there you go. John Cena has not been a nerd. His whole thing. No, we need to put respect on John Cena's name.
Yeah.
Because that man, like The Rock, has built up an action movie career that is so comforting.
Jonathan is. Let me Google if that's his real name before
Wait, let me give him a name. Jonathan Armando Gregory Cena the third.
Oh, his birth name is John, not Jonathan. Okay, so it's
What?
John. Is John Felix Anthony Cena?
The fact that I actually was really on on the money with that
Did
Armando
you
Gregory.
say
I
okay,
said
you
Armando
said
Gregory, and truly, what's
Honestly,
the difference? What was the
the
difference?
same vibe. Oh my god, he debuted in 1999.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh my god, I was like 2.
You listen. The WWE universe is so engrossed in acting. Put respect on his
Legit
name.
been acting since 1999. Since I was in was I in diapers for 2? Are 2-year-olds in diapers? I don't know.
Like kind of. They're like getting potty. You're somewhat potty
Since
trained.
I was just learning how to be potty trained.
Yeah.
That's how long he's been acting, and to be like, oh my god, I didn't know he could act. Disrespectful. Disrespectful.
There is probably no white man I would have trusted to make such a compelling Peacemaker as John Cena. I will stand by that. I'll stand by that.
When I fan casted John Cena to be Ares in the Percy Jackson series, people were telling me, no, he's too nice to be that role. He couldn't be a bad guy. And look at what we have now. Look what we have now.
He's always played a bad guy. Well, no, he's played a tough guy. He was played a bad guy in Psych. Are you guys? Are y'all telling me you're not doing your homework and watching Psych? That's a crime.
Now it just shows me how many of y'all are fake fans, because you would have known John Cena was in the Psych movie.
And that's on my ring pop.
Yeah. Thank you, Hyla Hemp. Of course, he would be a good Ares. I'm actually okay. Fun fact: one of my best skills, and probably one of my only skills, really, is fan casting. I'm really, really good at that.
Who would play me in a movie? Who would you fan cast as me in my biopic?
I don't know. I feel like I'd have to go unknown actor.
Are you saying my life's not interesting enough for an actor? Damn.
Well, first of all, would you want a cis person to play you?
No.
Exactly.
But I have fan casted myself as a CGI'd Whoopi Goldberg, so I don't know. Just listen, if technology has gone far enough. I saw Will Smith's Gemini Man, and by saying I saw Will Smith's Gemini Man, I saw the trailer for Will Smith's Gemini Man. I know that the science is there. We can CGI Whoopi Goldberg to play me.
You don't want a cis person to play you, so you have to go unknown actor and just give someone their big break for you.
That's true.
Who would play me in a movie? Actually, that's not your skill, so unless you want to go take a shot at it, go ahead.
I don't know. I felt so fucking insulted right then.
No, it's my skill, so unless you want to just take a crack at it, go ahead.
I think I need to sit on it for a second. Because in my brain, I was just like, man, if we're CGIing people's faces, I would CGI Brandy.
Brandy? Is it just because I love the Cinderella movie?
I didn't even take that into account. I just thought she had the vocal range.
I don't have the vocal range.
In my brain, you have a little bit of a musical going on.
I don't. I actually am. I have no skill in music whatsoever.
Listen, once
I
again.
struggled to get to a green belt in 5th grade for like the recorder. I could not play the recorder.
Anyway, back to the plot. Obviously, we love. Thank you. Hyla Hemp agrees with me. Biopic. John Cena, amazing. Idris, who played Ratcatcher? What was her name? She truly carried the heart of this movie. She had me on the verge of tears.
She's just a really sweet girl.
Also relatable. Honestly, that bitch just wanted to sleep, and part of me was like,
at all times.
I was like, is she wrong though? Is she wrong?
She almost slept when she was about to get eaten. Like, she almost slept through that.
Listen, what a way to go. And just now they're best friends.
Yeah.
And now they're best friends. Nanaue, my homie. I just love how Amanda Waller is clearly the villain.
You know what? I want to talk about that scene where someone took her out. I am so glad it was the only other black girl in the office. I am so glad, because if it was anyone else, that would have been a fucking hate crime. That would have been a fucking hate crime. I would have been like, they were wrong for that. But because it was the only other black girl, I was like, okay, we're good. Yeah, like, she deserved it.
Yeah, I was just
But am I wrong?
No, it would have been one of those times where I was like, if it was that guy, whatever his name was, he was funny. But if I was like, if they give him a leadership role, that place is going to be burned to the ground.
If I can only imagine if he hit her over the head with a golf club, I would have been like, no, I am against this. I am against this. Justice for Amanda Waller.
But like,
no,
I love how they kind of really just illustrated like the concept of the greater good, or like how people get to the greater good. And you're like, yeah, these guys suck, but like, they don't threaten kids.
Yeah.
They don't like go, they don't check. They make sure people can swim, probably. Before they throw them in the water.
Like, for me, I'm someone that actually doesn't like gore.
Yeah.
So, like, me being a DC fan is just like, that conflicts with it, but I close my eyes when it happens.
Right.
The first like 20 minutes were like kind of hard for me to watch, because I was like as traumatized as like that like long-haired guy was, because I was like, this is a lot of carnage to be taking in. Like, I have a soft soul.
It was really bloody, and I like it conceptually, because I do like how we're getting like R-rated films. Like I think Deadpool was the first one, and we can just see those ripple effects now on being like, oh, we can just go.
Honestly, Deadpool could have been PG-13. I'm just saying it could have
been, but it was one of the like in recent history, one of the most successful like R-rated ones. And you're like, oh, so now we're finally getting these storylines, which does include the score, but it also kind of just like, it's gonna get to the point where probably we'll have to discuss it, but like right now I'm like, damn, we really are just leaning into like this shit mad ridiculous.
I mean, I enjoyed it though. I did enjoy it overall, but that just like low-key traumatized me. Because I saw like Pete Davidson get his face like very aggressively removed by a shotgun.
Honestly, when I saw that scene, I was like, that person is an Ariana Grande stan. Like, that was, I don't know.
That was very scary for me.
Yeah. Hyla Hemp says, I've seen clips of the detachable man, and that was less gory than what I thought they'd do for that kind of concept.
Yeah, it wasn't like, he wasn't so bad. I think it's because like it was Nathan Fillion, and like no one would want to see him just like get aggressively murdered.
That's fair. Yeah, that was the funniest. I also love how he had like not like terrible CGI, but like watching his arms, like they didn't even make them move quickly.
That's what was so funny, because I do want to talk about the detachable kid, aka Arm Fall Off Boy. So I did make a TikTok about this, but I didn't go into detail about his character. So someone commented that like, oh, they like didn't make him, they like didn't really improve his power because like he's from the year 3000. They could have made him a time traveler.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely fucking not. They did improve his power because yes, he is from the year 3000, but his actual power is to just be able to rip off his arm. And that's it. Like he would just hit people with his detached arm. So I really think him being able
Yeah.
to just float his arms is already improving his power. Him
Mm-hmm.
being from the year 3000, what does that have to do with time travel? Like
Right.
how would you just incorporate
Also,
time travel into that? That makes no sense.
not to be that person, but as we
Yeah.
see by how we're currently moving forward in the future, is the year 3000 gonna be all that? Mm?
Not
Like,
really.
I don't know. Like,
We're lucky if we reach the year 3000. Like,
I'm just saying, like, I remember when, like, in the 50s, like, people were drawing the Jetsons, and those motherfuckers thought we were gonna be in space with flying cars. And look at me now.
mm,
So, yeah, and, like, I will say Boomerang. I know it's stuck in my head. I'm trying not to say it out loud. The song that will not be named. But I will say,
what
like,
song?
it's the Jonas Brothers.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But, like, so wild. And the pacing, I loved, like, non-linear storytelling. I
Mhm.
love how they are making comic book movies more like comic books. Like, I think the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the DCEU, I think that's like something that I would love to see, like, kind of like for a delineation between the two or a differentiation between the two,
Mhm.
is like them leading more into that, like, poppy, like, super bright colors, like non-linear storytelling, just like over the top, like leaning into like weird ass stuff. Like Guardians of the Galaxy kind of does it, but they try to ground it a
Mhm.
lot still. And like here in Suicide Squad, I was like, yeah, the big bad's a starfish.
Yeah. Starro the Destroyer, is that?
Yeah,
Man.
yeah, you
I
know,
like I was like vaguely familiar with Starro cuz
yeah.
he does exist in the comics, and I think I'm right about that.
I'm pretty sure he does.
Because
Um,
like I saw the character, I'm just like, wow, you sound and look really familiar.
yeah, yeah, and
Yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah, no, I just think it's like really nice. And also, as a person with ADHD, like I'm like, this is kind of like having a conversation. I was just like, this made my neurodivergent brain happy because I was like, oh, word, yeah. And like it allows for like, and it allowed for like the comedic timing, especially when they added like the meanwhiles and all those like
Yeah.
using the like topography, I guess is the way
One
to
of
say
my
it.
biggest struggles is like
Mm,
understanding how time is working in
mm-hmm,
movies and like TV.
mm-hmm.
And this made it a lot easier to follow along because I'm just like, okay, this was before, now this is now, and that was before, and that's after. So that
Yeah.
makes it made it so much easier to follow along.
I also, yeah, because I think a lot of movies, like, there's like no concept of time really. You're just like, we're
Mhm.
moving forward. Was it a day? Was it a week? Who knows? But
Exactly. I hate that. I hate that
yeah,
so much.
yeah, I like how that was going down. I loved how like Bloodsport was just like, my best way to be a good person is to tell people I'm bad and not interact with them. And then he was like, ah, shit, I have to interact with people.
Now you had to be like the older brother of the group slash
So good,
dad.
so good. Like,
Love that.
loved all that. Nanaue. Let's talk about Nanaue.
I love Nanaue. He's so cute. I love his expressionless face at all times.
It's
Loved
so
it.
good, and it's also, I think for me it's so weird because it's because King Shark
Mhm.
is in the Harlequin. I'm trying my best for you. It's really feeling weird on my mouth. In the Harlequin TV show, and like he has a voice. He can talk. He's like, they're keeping like the king shit going on. He is voiced by a black man. And so, like, seeing that and then going to this movie, that disconnect was so funny in my brain where I'm like,
Yeah.
I expect
Okay,
this.
I did propose this question to you before stream, but I want to ask you now, and I want to ask chat
Mm.
without looking it up. Who voiced King Shark in the Suicide Squad movie?
I feel
If you
like
know, don't say anything. If you don't know, don't look it up. Just guess.
also don't
Okay.
read the poster, I guess. That is,
Oh, I don't think it says it. Does it? I
it
don't think
has
so. Don't look. Don't
everyone's
look.
names. I don't know.
I don't
Pierce
think it says.
Brosnan.
No, it doesn't say who plays who. So,
Um,
anyway, just like straight up guess without looking at the poster.
in my brain, it's Vin Diesel. Because for some reason, like, I was like, didn't we get another I Am Groot? Like, good for him. Like, good, like,
No, wait,
that's
what's Vin Diesel Groot?
Vin Diesel's Groot.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he
That
got.
makes sense though.
How does
Um,
that make sense?
yeah, it just made sense to me. That makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, it didn't surprise me. I'm just like, yeah, I feel that. But this actually surprised me. Like, I thought Nathan Fillion was the most surprising casting in this movie.
Yeah.
But the person that voices King Shark is
Uh-huh.
Sylvester Stallone.
I love that.
I was just like, I
I love
would not
that.
have guessed.
That makes so much sense.
I didn't
As soon
know.
as you said it. As soon as you said it,
I still don't hear it,
I hear it.
but
You have to
like,
think of, like, you have to hear him say, Adrian! And then you're like, friend. You're like, ah!
like, huh. I still don't hear it, but I'm just like, okay, I accept it. I accept it.
Listen,
As fact.
Sylvester Stallone, as a person, is someone who got. It's like one of those times where, like, in any other time you would not have succeeded, but you slipped in and you succeeded. Because I'm just like, you were a porn star, then you got to Rambo and Rocky, and then you just coasted until you got into, like, frickin' Expendables, and now you're a shark.
Now he's a shark. But you forgot his most iconic role of being in Spy Kids.
Oh, right. That was a good movie.
It's a good ass movie.
It was a good ass movie. Elijah Wood's in that movie.
Oh, he's in Spy Kids 3, right?
Yes.
The video game one? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. I'm like trying to go through all the movies, and I only really remember the one with the dinosaurs.
With Steve Buscemi.
Yeah.
Dopest line. Think about it, like, at least twice a month. But yes, so
Yeah.
the plot. I also loved
Mhm.
I hate. Listen, actually, the one thing I was watching the movie with someone, and we got to the scene where they started shooting up the camp, and I saw them take out the lady. I was like, but she's innocent. She was just doing laundry. And then, like, in Men in Black, something started going off in my brain. I was like, oh no. And then we found out these are freedom fighters, and you're just like,
I mean, that's the most American move they could have
that
pulled,
was
honestly.
the funniest thing. The funniest thing. Also, the guy in the bathtub. The guy also unnecessary peen.
I don't think I saw it.
Oh, well, it was like one of the dudes who was just standing there and his peen was out. And there's something about it when there is no real sexualization of women, but there's unnecessary peen, where I'm like, something about this feels like balancing, even if I don't like it.
I didn't even see the peen. I was just like, because I don't like carnage, so like
Yeah,
there was a lot of
that's
blood
fair.
going on, so I was trying not to look.
Yeah, no, it was good. And then I like how they had like this dick measuring contest about murdering people.
Yeah.
Just the listen.
And then my
I
boy,
remember
Polka Dot Man, took down the whole thing. I was just like, oh my god. Okay.
He was like, he really just
I think I don't really like the damaged white boy character,
mm-hmm.
but I will let everyone have just one damaged white boy. He is mine.
Mm-hmm.
I love
fair.
him.
That's fair. I mean, yeah. He also, I loved the mom that they picked, because I was like, that is an accurate mom. That is the mom I assumed that mom would look like.
Yeah.
Just like, I was like, that's the mom who would send you to Bible camp and make you bathe in ammonia. Like, that's the correct villainous mom.
And I was just like, why out of all of the damaged white boys, I just picked the one with like very clear mommy issues.
To compliment your daddy issues?
I don't think we should explore that. I don't think we need to explore that. I think we can just move on.
You opened the door and promptly closed it. You're like, interesting.
Yeah. Interesting. I'm not going to unpack that.
That's
Moving
fair.
right along. So
That's
about
fair.
Harley Quinn.
I do want to talk about Polka Dot Man. It's so funny how it feels like a venereal disease to me, where I'm just like, I was just
An
like,
interdimensional virus. I'm just like, that's hot.
it was one of those moments where I'm like, and then we had the villain be it entered like a space like
Yeah.
starfish. It felt very full circle to me.
Yeah. I was still very upset about his spoilers. Obviously, if you're watching this, there's gonna be hella spoilers. For his like death,
uh,
because I was so attached, and I was just like, how could you do this to me? I mean, like it is like literally the Suicide
yeah,
Squad, but like, how could you do this to me? How could you? How dare you kill my character? How, why?
that's fair. I also want to say that I love death scenes like that in contrast to like because the ones that are sudden I think are sometimes underutilized in film because people are like let's give them their impassioned speech, their slow zoom, the fade to black with their their backstory montage playing, and like those get emotional, don't get me wrong, I cry at those all the time, but there's something about when they just give you a sudden death out of nowhere.
And they just moved on, and I was just like, we can't move on. Like
But
the
like
love of my life just died. You can't just move on. We can't just move on.
but like but like the deaths like that I think are sometimes are so powerful because you're just like you're yeah because it's unfair,
Yeah,
they just
it was
tap into the
unfair.
unfairness of it all and you're just like yeah you're right, oh
Yeah.
damn, wait,
Okay,
can't, oh,
but
fine.
there is something I wanted to cover with Harley Quinn and
Mm.
how I made a post about how people were giving James Gunn the credit for like his characterization
It's
when like it's
literally her
very
character.
clearly a continuation from like the Birds of Prey movie.
Uh-huh.
And people are like, well, he wrote the movie before that he even knew about Birds of Prey. And I'm just like, first of all,
Uh-huh.
that does not make any sense because do you really think they're going to have him write a movie and not give him any details about what the previous one that one of the characters is was in was about? So you're telling me he just randomly out of the blue decided to write Harley Quinn pre like breaking up with the Joker and was not and had no idea what was going to happen in any movie coming before that? That doesn't even make any
That
sense.
makes no sense.
Number 3, I think I'm on at this point.
Uh-huh.
Margot Robbie was in both movies.
She
Was in all three
also knows
movies
how to
actually.
speak.
She has a voice. She probably told him like,
Yeah.
"Hey, um, this is what's going on with Harley's character. You gotta write it accordingly."
Uh-huh.
She didn't have to tell him what was going on in the movie, but just like this is a breakup movie
Yes.
about Harley Quinn, or like even just let him know
Listen,
Harley
as
Quinn's no longer with
someone
the Joker.
where graphic design is my passion or whatever, I literally have done posters, right? Or like did briefs where they would tell me what happened in other posters so I would make them look the same. You're telling me a movie franchise doesn't do the same thing?
You really think a movie franchise is not going to tell the people that are making movies for the franchise what happens in the previous movies? That makes literally
Yes.
no sense.
Tom Holland isn't in this universe, y'all. They ain't that
Like,
afraid of spoilers. Also, hi Hemp.
yeah.
I'm so glad you trust our opinions on whether things are
Thank
good or
you.
not. We're
And
very
also,
appreciative of that.
like the Thor Ragnarok movie, like we
Mm-hmm.
all know what happens at the end of Thor Ragnarok and
Mm-hmm.
all that. Like, and then the next movie that comes after that,
Mm-hmm.
how like he has to get like Thor has to get a new eye or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they didn't tell the director when he was writing that movie that Thor lost an eye? Like, of course they did
Mm-hmm.
because he had to write how he got a new one. Like, they have to tell them what happens in the previous movie, even if the
Right.
movie hasn't come out yet. Like, James Gunn might not have known the excruciating details, might not have seen the entire movie
Mm-hmm.
before Birds of Prey came out, but yes, he fucking knew like at least a little bit of what happened. Like, he did not pull out this character of Harley out of his ass.
Mm-hmm. Also, Harley has been Margot Robbie. Oh my god, Margot has been working with this character. Margot
Yeah.
Robbie loves this character, and you can tell.
He
Like,
said he worked closely with her for this
mm-hmm.
movie. Yes, he knew what was happening with Harley's character in Birds
Yes.
of Prey. He did not know about the movie. He didn't know the details of it. But yes,
Mm-hmm.
he did know about Harley's character in that movie to write this character.
Exactly. Also, side note, ring
Mhm.
pops are take so long to eat.
Yeah. I
It's
don't like candy. So,
it's the
I don't like that one.
ergonomics of it all. I'm sorry, y'all. I just really am like, dang, this is taking so much. Like the Tootsie Pops had them commercials. Ring Pop should take them. Anyway, the other thing is, as a gay,
Mm-hmm.
Harley had it was the
Mm-hmm.
beauticiousness, the it was so gay.
Mm-hmm.
It was so gay. It wasn't for men. Men can enjoy it, obviously, but that scene was for. It was gay. It was sapphic. It was a sapphic love letter. To watch this woman just hanging from a thing, pretty red dress, looking all hot, singing loo doo da, and then all of a sudden it's just like, oh, time to kill man with my bare thighs, acrobatics her way through, and then just murder a bunch of people in that dress, and then rip
I
the
loved her
dress,
dress. I was like, oh, I love it. I
right? And
love
then
it.
rip the dress with the combat boots.
I mean,
The
it's
fact
like a
that,
ball gown. It was a little difficult to like maneuver in.
right,
Like had to.
right, and then yes, I'm just saying, Harley in a ripped ball gown and combat boots. First of all, we love a woman in reasonable footwear for kicking ass. We stand. We stand for that. I stand as a gay getting to watch a hot lady beat people up in formal wear. I think that's
I
not.
love that.
I think it's not a lot to ask that more movies do this. I feel like correct. It is a true femme power fantasy. It is. Listen, if Amelia was here, I think I can speak on their behalf and say, we just deserve more hot lady villains, and this is what we mean.
Like
Yeah,
I love the dress. I was just like, oh my
it was good.
god, I love it. The
I
style.
also love how she was just like, listen, I have to kill you because you have a pretty big red flag,
Yeah.
and you're like, you know what? Actually, in that moment, I was like, this bitch is better than Batman. She literally did not
Yeah.
hesitate.
She didn't
Did not
hesitate. She was like,
hesitate. She was like, wait,
fine.
no, actually, this is not a good
Not
thing to
okay.
do. And I'm like, Batman, you see how she just handled business?
Yeah.
You see how she was like, man, this nigga toxic. Pop, pop.
You saw that? You saw how that happened? How she offed
Oh,
him?
now that the solution was saluted.
Hmm.
Love that.
How she
Also,
finished the job?
she made sure yes, that's the other thing. This is a side note why I think I love villain movies better. Villains are more thorough.
Yeah. That's how you know that like Loki isn't a villain because like
He's messy.
how do you not finish the job? Annoying as hell.
You're just like, come on. Follow through. Follow through. Going back way to the beginning where we were talking about My Hero Academia, I was just like, you let the fact that all for all, I was so mad. I was like, you're telling me you
You don't
had
see
that
that this
in.
is going to end poorly for you when you let the biggest of the biggest bads just like live. All
Yes.
right.
Actually, this is
Like
a
we don't take
question.
lives. I'm like maybe you should try that every
Yeah.
once in a while.
Yeah.
Like who am I to decide who lives or dies? Like um maybe not the one, but like you should.
Someone.
Someone's got to do it at this point
I think most people
because
would agree. It's going to be a fairly liked decision. So, yes, I think Harlequin, I think also her scenes were like when she was with that man, I liked that a lot because it was a sense of character growth
hmm
and like just like kind of like the revolution of just like also not falling for the pretty trap. I just like that for
yeah
her. It was like she was like, "Damn, this is nice," and then she was like, "Oh no, sorry, I see signs and I'm leaving." And I was like,
yeah
"That's empowering. What an
yep.
icon!" And also
Like
the javelin.
shout out to Kathy. Oh my god, it's Kathy Yan, and I don't remember the girl's name that the lady's name that like actually wrote it. Let me Google it real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Birds of Prey. Oh
What was Harley? Hyla, what was your question? Margot Robbie is Harley,
yeah.
but
Christina Hodson wrote
mm-hmm,
Birds of Prey,
mm-hmm,
and then Kathy Yan is the one that directed it.
mm-hmm.
So like yes, they are to thank for the amazing characterization of Harley Quinn, And then like James Gunn just continued the character growth.
Continued the good work.
I'm glad that he did decide to continue the character growth because like if he had just decided to retcon that and be like, no, she's with the Joker again, it's like what happened? What happened to the original plot of the
The movie.
movie?
Yeah, no, Harley is the one who saw the flags because she was like, wow, you talked about kids. Not in a good way. And like, yeah, also the whole plot of like it being a government cover up, I was just like, sounds about right.
Yeah.
So it was like grounded in the right amount of reality and just being like, yeah, this is something that definitely happens daily. Or, and you're just like, yep, definitely it. I love how like the most patriotic one turned out to be the bad guy. This movie was anti-patriotism through and through, and
But okay, so they are. If you don't know, if you're watching this and you don't know, they are making a Peacemaker TV show for HBO Max. I don't know why they did that because, like, I feel like Peacemaker is loved by the exact same people that like worship or apologize or are apologists of John Walker, and it's just like they
yeah.
gave John Walker his own show. I'm just like, why this character? You could have
Also,
given me a Paint Man show. You could have given me a literally any other character from the Suicide Squad show, and I would have been like so on board.
it's also one of those things where like he's clearly the villain, and I'm like, I don't. There are certain villains where I'm like, I'm done having you try to make me sympathize with them because
Yeah.
I can't.
I don't really want to watch a show about
Yeah.
the Peacemaker and
Yeah.
how he's journeying to realizing maybe being an ultra patriot isn't a good thing. Like I don't really want to see his redemption arc. I'm not really interested in
Also,
that.
it's not really redemption because it's like, like sometimes I'm like, listen, some villains have bad vibes, and that's
Yeah.
why they're villains. Some
Sometimes you're just a
villains,
bad dude.
and some
He's just a bad
villains
dude.
just happen to not really care about how the laws are currently structured. And that's also
Yeah.
fine. I would say, actually, this is a question for everyone. Do you think you would be a hero, villain, or Suicide Squad like person? Because I would probably be someone on the Suicide Squad.
I'm just straight up just a regular civilian. Like
You
I'm a
have to
regular
pick. You have
civilian.
to pick on the scale of hero to villainy. Where are you at?
Honestly probably hero. But
Mm,
like not because I just don't want to ever end up in the Suicide Squad because I'm not doing that shit.
mm,
I'm literally not doing that shit. I'm not doing that.
yeah,
Like, and even like the most low class of the villains end up on a Suicide Squad.
that's
So I'm
fair.
just like, I can't take that chance
Mm,
because absolutely fucking not. Like, what I would have been like, what's that guy? What is his name even? The one that died at the very beginning of the movie
mm.
with the long white hair.
Oh yeah, that guy. Don't remember.
That guy. I would have literally been him, and would have been like, nope, and like pieced out.
That's
Just
fair.
screaming and swimming into the ocean,
That's fair.
the open ocean. That would have been me. Like I'm not.
I'm gonna go. It's time. Listen, I have a great night, day. I don't know your time zone. Have a great time zone, Hyla Hemp. But
Bye, Hyla. Thanks for joining us.
I know for a fact that I would be like Suicide Squad territory because I would just like especially if I had that power, I would get too annoyed with people because I'm like, I have morals. I want the best for everyone. That also means that if I robbed a jewelry store to get money for the local food bank, I'd do it.
Also, I do
Poison
want to
ivy
just
isn't wrong.
right.
I'm just like,
I would just like to weasel my way into just like flirting with Nightwing and be like, "So, what do you do around here for fun?"
yeah, I would just be like I know Batman wouldn't like me, and that's really where I stand. The people would love me, Batman wouldn't, and I'm okay with that.
I think I would just end up tolerating Batman and he would tolerate me because
Mm-hmm.
I don't really vibe with him, but he does like to, shut up every now and then. And
Mm-hmm.
by every now and then, I mean like most of the time. So I do like vibe with that.
Yeah.
I do want to get with his son though. So
Which one?
Nightwing,
Oh, sorry. I think of all of them as his kid, so I need like
like Nightwing. I would. So I'd just be like, "Hello,
Best eyes in the
sir."
DC.
Like, "Hi, Dick."
Yeah, Mr. Grayson. Also, so the plot, I would give the plot like a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
I would give the characters. I don't think there was a single character flop. I think every character
Mm-hmm.
was their own star and they didn't really compete. I think the chemistry was amazing between them all. Um, if I had to like come away with the character that I think had the most, I think Polka Dot Man was the one who did the most work because I think he was probably going to be one of the hardest to get people to love him. The like, you
Get
know what I mean?
behind.
I was like, that man put in the work. But I will say, Ratcatcher 2, I was just like
I loved her.
I was just like, I want to be her friend. Sebastian, my nigga
That's such a
Sebastian.
cute little. I said puppy. He's literally a full-on rat.
Like
I love Sebastian. I'm just like, oh, what a sweet boy. What a
Stuart Little
sweet little
could
boy.
never. Stuart Little could
Loved him.
never. He was just the when he got drunk. I was like, that was amazing. It
I
was
love my
iconic.
cute little Sebastian. Adorable. Oh, we
Also,
just completely skipped over the fact that Peter Capaldi was in this movie.
yeah. Listen, speaking of Spy Kids, he looked like he belonged in Spy Kids.
He
I'm
did look like he
sorry.
belonged in Spy Kids.
Like,
I didn't really understand why we really needed his character. I know it was like a plot point, like his
mhm,
character was a plot point,
mhm.
but like I don't even remember him dying. I guess he did die at some point, but
Yeah, he
I
got
felt like he was the most.
comeuppance.
He did what?
He got comeuppance from the. I think part of it is that he's like kind of like a suicide, like a prototypical Suicide Squad in that way. You know what I mean? Because he was sent by the government to do this, and he is clearly a
Right.
villain.
Okay.
And then he went
Oh, right. He
off.
got eaten by Starro.
Yeah,
For
as he should have, because he was a weirdo and a creep, and also, I don't want to know how it works for Starro, but the way we know that man tried to have sex with Starro is so
yeah.
gross. Like, you know,
Starro is like an asexual being, so he like it just like what are Starro's pronouns? Mm. I'm gonna assume I
I'm
don't
gonna go
think
with
it.
they them on that one.
All right. I don't know what. I don't. Does it count? Because
They are an entity.
I
They have
mean
a consciousness. They have
they
pronouns.
do.
They do. Their last monologue of being like, I was just vibing in space.
That made me
Man,
really sad.
I truly, I was like, listen, it, this was the thing too. It was kind of like when I watched Castlevania and how
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't watch more than one episode because I was like, you know what? They're right.
Starro does not seem to have pronouns. Like the article just refers to Starro as Starro.
You know what? Like, share. Good for Starro. Like
Yeah.
when I watched the first episode of Castlevania and they like were like, and he was like, okay, I'm just gonna murder everyone now because you killed my wife and you guys are awful. I was like, you know what? Can't say you're wrong
Yeah.
for that. Star was wrong because he took out innocent people, but like also, bruh,
So
like,
Starro, as of right now, Starro does not have gender. Starro is just Starro.
mm-hmm, yes,
So I felt really bad because like the last line that Star said was like, I just like staring up at the stars. Like I was content staring up at the stars or
yeah,
something. I'm just like, I feel so bad, but like
right,
we
like,
can't let you just kill this entire island full of people.
right, like the entire island does. Also, how many people survived that island? That was something that was like, this is conveniently left out for me.
I feel like they did their best. Like our friends did their very best. Maybe it's just a rat-filled island at this point,
It's their
and they're like,
island.
and like the force freedom fighters that survived, and that's it.
And Weasel.
And Weasel. So
Yeah, I feel like Weasel is going to town on Starro, and that's probably the biggest tragedy.
I mean,
Yeah.
ugh.
Also,
But also, we saw the weasel like possibly. I think that we went back in time to like that same night that he was first dead. So like
mm-hmm.
he's just been like chilling on the island throughout most of
Vibing,
the movie.
vibing. Also, I want to say the javelin bit is one of my favorite bits.
That like he died before he could say who
Yeah,
beats it.
yeah, and just
Like
like
Harley, context clues. You literally have a doctorate. Like you know.
to be fair, you don't know because these people have such specific like. I'd be like, what? I know nothing about you, dude. You
I
are a
mean,
work friend at best, a work associate, an
like they literally had
intern,
just met that day. They
right?
just met.
What
They
context
just-
clues? But I loved how like also I love how she was wilding with that javelin. I loved the stabby stabbing of it all. If I had to pick a weapon to master, I would be like a staff user. So I think like the javelin spoke to me on that level because I'm just like, listen, I love a weapon that also works as a way to lean and not really have to stand.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So, and I loved how they just used the eye as the trippy dippy thing. That was amazing, iconic.
Like DC does gross really well.
They do it beautifully. I
Absolutely beautifully.
also love how ridiculous the weapons were. Like what
Yeah.
I was like, let's work. What this is taking so much time.
It's just a super small bullet. That's just really
It's
it.
just small.
That's all it was.
I just love when you're just like, listen, it's moments like this where you're like, I can see how a Wild West, like how they always have like one Wild West gun shooter on a team somewhere. I can now see how they kind of like get shit done because they just go.
Yeah. Like we had two on this team. We had Bloodspurt and Bloodsport or Bloodspurt?
Sport,
Bloodsport
like
and
motorsport,
Liberty Boy.
Liberty Boy.
And, and was Rick Flag also good at shooting a gun, or was Rick Flag just like there?
Rick Flag is Rick Flag is like Bloodsport and Peacemaker in that he was an army boy.
But he's just like assigned to the team. He's
Yeah,
not
he's
a
not a
Suicide Squad
villain. He's just
member.
like a bro who believes that the government isn't trash and then died.
Realize the government isn't feed trash.
Yeah, and it was like, oh no, we can't do that, and then realized the government will wants to continue being trash. His
Yeah.
also, I loved how that little touching moment be like, oh, I know that guy was your friend. He was my friend too. Oh,
It's sad.
I
Like
was
he was so nice to them.
he was just vibing. He
He's so
really
nice.
was just a nice guy, and he died.
Yeah. Very aggressively.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, I swear to God, Liberty Bell, if you lay your hands on
Oh my God.
Ratcatcher 2, we're gonna talk.
I
We're gonna
was,
have
I was
we're gonna
ready.
talk.
I was ready. I was like, listen. Yeah. Also, yeah. Oh, yeah. That was also. I loved how they lead into the ridiculousness of him falling through the floors.
I love that. I love that. And
Because
he just
it,
arrived right on time. I'm just like, yeah, hero's arrival.
yeah, and I love how like they did it in a way that like barely kind of made it like plausible. He was like floor by floor.
That's how you know. That's how you know that Bloodsport isn't actually a villain because he didn't finish the job.
Mm.
Villains finish the job.
To be fair, I would have expected that one to do it too. A building collapses and you got shot in the throat.
I mean, finish the job, bud. You
Gotta
finished the job.
Fonz, what's up?
Like, he didn't finish the job.
He did not.
Somehow. I think it was that
I
tin
think-
foil hat thing that he wore that like kept his
I
brain
think it's
intact.
because he's a white man and he had the audacity. I think that's why Peacemaker survived.
Was it just like the final like layer of white man plot armor?
Yeah,
That
I
what
was
kept
just
him
like,
alive?
of course he's. Of
That's
course
what
he
saved
did.
him. White man's plot armor.
The audacity of it all. Just like, yeah.
So that was the most upsetting survival
I really,
living person.
really,
I don't know.
I truly believed that it was gonna be Rick Flag up in that hospital bed, and then I was like, wrong white man.
I was like, wrong,
I was
wrong answer,
like,
no.
it's like when you order something from Wish and you're like expectations versus reality, and I was like, that shit hurted. It
I hurt my
hurted
feelings.
deep
I
in
hurt
the
my feelings.
soul. It was
I really,
ridiculous.
I would have liked Rick Flag and Harley together because like he's nice and she needs a nice guy.
Yeah, that the way like he like I know it's like we were gonna save you, and she was like, that is
So
actually
nice.
the nicest thing.
Yeah.
I also love how Bloodsport just had his helmet on and nothing else, and I was like, what is that gonna do for you?
Like, I mean, you could use some kind of like protection for, I don't know, your vital organs, but like it's
Yes.
fine if no one knows what your face looks like, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Also, Milton, justice for my boy Milton.
Yeah, that was just like, I'm gonna tag along and help you guys, and then just got full on shot in the head.
Bat bang over some candy bars.
Like, I felt really
Wait, no,
bad.
those were actually
No, those were like,
explosives.
those were,
Those were explosives.
yeah, they were.
I don't know why when I saw them land, I was like, oh, those are Mikasa chocolate bars. Good for them.
No, he said, oh, fizzle sticks, and then he went to pick them up. He's so cute. Such a
Yes.
sweet man.
Listen, I'm just saying, I would have rather had a Rick Flag TV show than a
Yeah.
Peacemaker TV show, and I'm gonna be bitter about that to the day I die. I think. I think.
I'm gonna be very, very,
I think.
very disappointed if we get
Yeah.
the Peacemaker show and then the person that like teaches him how to be a better person is a black woman. That would piss me off so much.
Yeah. I
Oh
just have
God,
a lot
please
of
HBO Max,
room
please don't do that. Please don't. I
hating
do
in my
want to
heart.
work for you, but please don't do that.
Yeah. No. Yeah. But Peacemaker, and listen, ugh, yeah. I'm just. Ugh, that's how I feel about. Ugh, give me my Rick Flag back. Give
I'm like, I
me.
do love John Cena.
Give me
I
a
would
Harley
prefer not to
Quinn.
see him in this role again.
Give me a Harlequin Rick Flag buddy cop power hour.
Like WandaVision, but with Rick
Yes.
Flag and Harley Quinn.
Yes. Is that too much to ask?
I guess so.
You know Rick Flag would take great care of the hyenas.
I do. I do think so. He'd be like, okay. He just seems like a wife guy. I'm just saying, he just seems like a wife guy.
He seems like, yeah, he would just be in his slippers. Harley's doing whatever, and he's just, taking care of the home, making things don't get too crazy. Do I want fan art of this now? Yes.
I do believe that Harley belongs with Ivy, but like I'm saying as a transitional boyfriend,
Yeah,
Rick Flag is a nice guy.
I would love house husband Rick Flag.
Yeah.
And I stand by that. I stand by that.
Miss like R.I.P. Rick Flag. He will
R.I.P.
be
Rick
missed.
Flag.
Even though I genuinely did not even remember you in the first movie. Did not remember he was in it. He was more memorable now. That's a good thing.
I think that he had a very strong performance in the second one, and I'm really glad for that for him.
And
good for
unpopular
him.
opinion, I didn't think the first one was terrible.
I think the
I mean,
first
I didn't.
one. I think the
I
first
didn't
one was
love
a
it.
fine time. I think the first one had.
Yeah.
I think it was one of those times where it was like, it was so oscillating, and like, cause like Will Smith in the first one was great. Viola Davis as Amanda Waller was great.
Mm-hmm.
Harley Quinn was great. Joker was just the worst thing I've ever seen ever in my life, and that was unfortunate. It was just like Harley's like flip over in the elevator scene.
I don't even remember it, but
Iconic.
I thought the movie was okay.
Yeah, I thought Will Smith was funny. I thought Viola Davis was awesome, and I thought Harley was cool.
I thought it was a good enough movie. I didn't even like movies. I thought it was just like okay.
Yeah.
I thought this one was a good movie though. Like I did like it. I want to watch it again.
What would you give it out of 10?
I'm going to close my eyes in the scary parts though. But
what would you give it out of 10? What's your ranking?
I'm gonna give it like a solid 9. Like it was really good.
I'm also
maybe even 9.5.
I think I'm also gonna give it a 9.5. I think because I can't think of anything that I would want changed.
Yeah.
except for Rick Flag surviving instead of Pacemaker.
There was
Pacemaker,
apparently like a
Peacemaker.
scene. There was apparently a scene where like a girl, like the secretary, like ran into the room, but like I think I might have blinked and missed it. Maybe I
Mm.
was like I looked at my phone and completely missed it, but people didn't like that scene. I can't even comment on it because I
But she
genuinely
ran
don't remember
what
seeing
into
it.
what room?
Into like the I think it's like just before the freedom fighters broke into the Capitol building.
Yeah.
Like the secretary ran into the room. I don't even remember the scene. I just remember seeing the people break into the Capitol
Oh
building.
yeah, and she got blood splatter all over her. I thought that shit was mad funny.
I don't even remember seeing it.
I was
I
like,
literally think I blinked and missed it, or I like looked at
listen,
my phone and didn't
in
even
the
see it.
same way that secretary worked, I also would be a sexy dumb secretary for someone's illegal business so they could have a front. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you get a salary, correct?
You
Yes.
do it for a check.
Yeah, I was like, I do it for a check. This place has never turned a profit in the 5 years you worked here, correct? You've gotten a raise every year you worked here, correct? You make $80,000 a year, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You sell popsicle sticks, exactly.
Yeah,
You didn't think anything suspicious was going on? I watch House
didn't
Hunters.
care.
I
Didn't
watch
care.
House Hunters. I artists get $700,000 budgets. What did you? What? Who am I to judge? In this economy, sir, I was minding my black-owned business in this apparently illegal business. That's how they didn't
Yeah.
intersect.
And if anyone is still watching, I mean, like we are gonna wrap up because we are low key overtime. Um, but I did want to go ahead and just bring this show to anyone's attention. If you did watch the Suicide Squad movie and you really, really enjoyed it and you really want to see more shows or get more shows with this vibe, please, please, please give Doom Patrol a chance. It is on HBO Max. Seasons 1 and 2 are available for streaming, and season 3 is going to come out September 23rd. And no, I'm not being paid by HBO to say this,
Mm-hmm.
but I would if they did pay me. I would do it I would do it for a check. I would do it for free. I love this show. You would absolutely love it. Take my word for it. Like treat yourself and watch Doom Patrol.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's all I have to say. Any more closing remarks from you, Hi Ho?
Um, I will say to the Doom Patrol, Brendan Fraser is in it, and
Yes.
we stand his comeback. He is once again, he's just a nice man.
Brendan Fraser, Alan Tudyk,
I okay.
Matt Bomer.
I'm gonna say something that I don't think is controversial, and I think makes sense for me as a person.
Mhm.
I have such a strong attraction to Alan Tudyk.
That makes sense for you. I mean, I don't relate, but
I
that
know.
makes sense for you.
There's something every time I see that man in a role, and it's just working for me.
I mean, he is like an omnipresent villain in this show, so
I'm
I
probably
think
gonna be into it.
you'd love it.
I accept that
Um,
about me.
Also, Diana Guerrero, I cannot say her last name. I apologize for the pronunciation. She is also in it. Just give it a chance. Give it a chance, please. Okay.
Yes. Also, exciting news, everyone.
What?
Momo is back in the United States, which means Momo is now in a more acceptable time zone as the rest of us, as in we're actually in the same time zone. And
Mhm.
thank you so much for however many followers we have on here. I think it's close to 100. I actually don't know. I'm checking it as we speak because I can't do math. Oh my gosh, I should have prepped for this. Don't
Oh,
pay.
129 it seems.
129?
Yeah.
Holy ball sack.
Yeah.
But because of this and Momo being back, that means that we are actually going to start streaming a
Mhm.
bit more.
We are.
We're going to start streaming a bit more probably in September.
Probably having more guests as well.
Probably more guests, which means more game nights. So we're going to go more
Yeah.
into the like game nerd version of Blurred. So let us know what type of games you want us to play, what you want to
Mhm.
see. There's a game called Red Flags that I think would be really fun for all of us to play.
Oh, yes.
Uh, uh, who on TikTok do you want to see? I'm trying to get Alex Rising to come on.
Mhm.
And
We
also,
might have Deja come back. Like Deja was supposed to be on it like every other week.
Deja was supposed to be part of the core four,
yeah,
and then we turned it to the Three Musketeers mad
like
fast. And
we're gonna see if Deja's gonna come join us
yes,
for a spell.
yes. And then also, we might become Twitch affiliate hosts. It might be coming.
I mean, with
Which,
your help, we can be.
with yeah, it's all on y'all. You guys are the ones who feed us, sustain us, give us a platform to be. Oh my god, it's like I'm like a. If you like it, you should have put a ring on it. Um,
We're like Tinkerbell. We need attention in order
yes.
to live.
Listen, I am baby. Give me attention, or I will die. But we are very grateful. We're really excited to see where this goes. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next week. Tell us what you want from us. Tell Momo. Momo's more famous than me, so like do whatever.
Go ahead. I mean, you can hit me in my comments or my Instagram, DMs.
And the DMs. You heard it here, folks. Momo's DMs are open.
I mean, for like requests for what you want us to do on Twitch.
Momo's DMs are open. That's the main takeaway she got from this, and that we at Boy Roundtable give the Suicide Squad, a 9.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
That's all. Okay. We'll see you next week.
See ya. Bye bye.
Love y'all dearly. Bye bye.